Yo, what's up everyone? It's been a while since I made a video. So for this video, I'm gonna just give you a GTI update on everything that I've worked on the car and see how it's coming along. First off, we're gonna start with the splitter. I've had a couple problems with it. First one, I left to Mexico. I let my brother use it. And when I came back, the top rod was missing.
Well, one thing that sucks about the front splitter, that was my problem that I messed up. And then Edwin reordered one.
And then about a week or two after, I had valet parking take my car, and then they hit a dip. Because when I came back, or the next day, I didn't notice it till the next day, the rod actually poked out of the bumper and it was like it busted through. I think it was the next day that I was on a freeway and I just heard something just fall and go under my car, which was the rod.
Before you get to, can I talk or no?
Yeah.
All right. I guess the next thing I was gonna ask you, based off what you just went through, would you get the front splitter again?
I would get the front splitter, but I would probably not get the rods. Or I would get the rods, but I would make sure that my ride isn't that low and actually have more of a wheel gap so it's not so low to the ground.
Because or else you're gonna have to keep replacing the part and that gets expensive.
Well, I mean, you just have to drive safe. But the bad part is, what if you're not driving and someone else hits it?
Like the valet.
Like the valet and like you.
I just wasn't used to a low car.
So that's the only bad part. Besides that, I haven't had any issues with the front splitter. Besides that, very last time that I hit it, which was an accident because I wasn't paying attention to the road.
Okay, I have a big question actually. Do you get annoyed having to drive very carefully? Or does it take the enjoyment out of driving? Or you don't mind it?
I wouldn't say it takes away the enjoyment. It depends what you're driving. Sometimes, let's say you're coming out of a grocery store or you're coming out of a parking lot and there's not enough space for two cars or for you to go at an angle and there's only enough room for two cars and cars are coming in. So that really sucks because either you take it and you hit or you take up the whole spot and then make people wait until you get out.
Dang, so it's kind of annoying.
That's the only thing that's the only thing that sucks. But on the freeway, that's the one thing that I do hate. Because on the freeway, sometimes there's like level changes or like little dips. But when it does that, I notice that my tires do rub on the wheel well.
And I guess the only solution that I could think about would be bags, but that's expensive.
Or just not be that low.
Or not be that low, that's true.
Not be that low or get wheels that are smaller. Right now I'm on 255, 35, 18s. So I mean, I could go 235, 40, which is barely a little bit smaller. Or maybe even smaller than that.
And then the next thing we were talking about is the ride height, right? Or no?
Yeah, at first I wanted to be like really low to the ground. And then once I started noticing that I was hitting at speed bumps or actually rubbing, that's when I raised it up a little bit. I went for a week, I think, and then I still noticed it. So I raised it up a little bit more. And then I think a week later I raised it a little bit more. And now I think I want to raise it one more time and I think it's perfect right there if I raise it just a little bit more.
And I think when you had it low, it does look aesthetically pleasing, but the same thing, you run into a lot of those issues that you were talking about.
Yeah, I like how it looks. It's just, I don't know, it's just, I don't want to keep hitting my car.
Yeah.
Especially right now, I have a hole in the front and I only have one rod. So it looks kind of dumb right now.
With the ride height and coils that you have you noticed a difference, or it's kind of hard to notice that coil difference versus the stock?
That one I can't really answer too well. I mean, I guess my opinion would be very objective because it's just through my experience. I could probably say I felt like a small difference, and someone else can say they felt like a huge difference. Mm-hmm. But for me, I felt like it was small, not that huge.
And I want to say the biggest reason is because it's mostly daily driving versus track driving. I think maybe track based you'll notice a difference, but on a day-to-day basis, most likely not. It's really hard to feel it, no?
Yeah, daily, but some spirited driving, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, the only thing that sucks is like I want to drive a little bit faster, maybe a little more on the throttle, but my tires suck. My tires always just skid. They don't have contact. The grip sucks. They're cheap Walmart tires. I think they were like 80, 90 bucks a piece or something.
And that one's on APR Stage 2. So once this red light turns green, we're gonna get a little straightaway, and I don't do a pull for the boys. Let's go.
I mean, APR Stage 2 has been good. The only thing I've run into is check engine light. I don't know if anybody has like run across this issue, but it turns on, then it turns off. And then the code is for the O2 sensor. I ended up changing it out. Code went away, or like the check engine light went away for like about 2-3 days, and it came back on. So I don't know what it is. It might be a tuning issue because it was the same exact code for the O2 sensor.
But nothing that made you stop driving the car, right? So your car's been running.
Yeah, it's been running since I had it on Stage 2. Nothing that deteriorated the engine or anything like that.
With the little pops.
It takes a while to warm up. I don't always drive with the pops on though.
If you could go back, that's one more thing, right? So when you go APR Stage 2, you have the option pops or no pops. If you were to go back, what would you do? And
I'll
why?
keep the pops.
You'll keep it?
Yeah. I like how it sounds. Just because I don't always use it doesn't mean that I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I use it like on the freeway when I gotta pick up. If I could go back, the other question is if I could go back and choose APR versus Cobb, like an access port, I would do Cobb access port and then go through a different tuner. That way I could go E85 and then change maps. If I need to, let's say I get smog tested, I could go back to stock. I don't need to go back to the tuner to tune me back or flash me back to stock.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I would do.
This next one, I guess, is also subjective. But for people who want a GTI or are looking to getting one, how would you say the heel toe is? Is it a good position or good length from the brake to the gas pedal? Is it close enough, or do you find that it's kind of hard sometimes?
To be honest, like at first, when I first started learning how to heel toe, I thought it was too far apart. But then I think it's just getting used to it because your foot isn't used to putting half of it on the brake and then kind of like blimping the gas.
It's tricky, yeah, at first.
So it's something new. It's a learning curve. But once you got it down, it's like the gap isn't that bad.
And to you, that's super fun to do it, huh?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
And with the newer cars, you'll get the auto rev option, which I think is still good. It's good to have because especially if you're driving on the freeway, because in the freeway you gotta be a lot more cautious, right? Because everyone can move. It might not be your fault if someone goes in front of you, and sometimes you gotta brake fast and then hit the gas to cut them off and go around them.
Yeah.
In those situations, especially if you're just starting off, I feel like you'll love auto rev match. It'll be your best friend. And then yeah, but it's always fun to do it manually.
I always feel like anything doing yourself like manually, knowing that you actually did that, I don't know, you feel good about it. Yeah, huh? It's just satisfying. And then my wheels, I actually want to talk about my wheels. I've liked my wheels. The freaking thing that I hate is that how long it takes to clean and how fast they get dirty. They are ceramic coated, so when I actually clean them, I don't need to scrub like really hard to get the dirt off or the stains. It's just all these spokes and all these little crevices you have to put your finger in. That's what she said. And then it just takes so much time. It's just really time consuming that I freaking hate it.
So one thing I noticed is everyone was cleaning his car. The next day I did see it a little bit dirty. And I think the car looks sick, like the wheels look sick having that many spokes, but now after seeing how fast they get dirty, I can see how it could be tedious and annoying to always have to do it and time consuming.
If I could go back,
even though they look good though.
I like how they look.
Me too.
I love how they look. If I could go back, I would go for 17s instead of 18s and do less spokes. So do something with like a 5-star.
But they look good though, that's the thing. It's not like they look terrible, it's just the cleaning part.
Yeah, it's the only part that really sucks.
Edwin's a hater.
So this little hatchback can fit a lot of stuff. I go filming on the weekends, so I have a lot of equipment, and it's really, really useful for everything I need to carry. But the thing that sucks was partially my ride height, because carrying this stuff, I have to go off, like, I guess a little bit off-road, and I hate that I have to put my car through all those trails or have to like hit certain dips. even if I try to go at an angle. That's the only thing I really hate. And what would really help is having actually a car that's a little bit taller, so like a 4Runner. That's kind of what I've been trying to look at. But everything fits in there. Groceries, you could pack the crap out of it. Why am I a hater?
Because I was gonna say, I feel like this car fits a lot, but what you just said, never mind them. Because if you're having issues, I guess, navigating through road because it's so low, that's what the issue is. I don't think it's the space. It's mostly ride height.
Yeah, but also if I get a bigger car, I feel like there's more room for passengers and more room to carry in the back. So it's not, because I put the seats down, so that way I maximize the room in my car. But I mean,
oh, you know what's a fun question? With the gas prices being so high, how much did it take to fill up the car now, the tank?
So I have to pump Supreme, which is 91, because it's tuned to 91, and I only pump mobile, and I think it's like at $6.50, and I never let it go to completely E. I usually fill up like at a quarter tank or a little bit lower, and that I think it was like, I think it's like around 72 bucks.
Oh my goodness.
When I used to fill up at 50.
You gotta love America, huh?
America,
hell yeah,
baby.
brother.
But I don't think I would waste that much gas if I didn't I have to go all the way to LA, or I have to go all the way to the Inland Empire to shoot some videos sometimes.
The only thing, which I'll show you guys later, is the window crack. The windshield crack, which looks like it's getting larger, but nothing crazy where we need to, I guess, expedite the process.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to replace that window, but it's about, I think it's about 300, not OEM, aftermarket.
Have you looked at OEM? Just to see what the price difference would be?
I don't know. No, I haven't, but my cousin told me it's kind of expensive.
Damn.
I think it's like 2 or 3 times the price.
Sheesh. All right.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I have something else I want to add. Not add, but I'm going to film another video after this, and you guys are going to see what's up. Peace.
The tricks are for kids.
Dang. You brought the new tires?
Yeah, the new shoes.
You ready for race wars?
Yeah. We're leaving tonight.